The Pope. The Catholic Church has the most centralized leadership structure in religion. At the top is the Pope. He is the Bishop of Rome and the spiritual leader of more than 1 billion Catholics worldwide. His authority comes from the belief that he is the successor of St. Peter, one of Jesus' closest followers. This idea places the Pope at the very core of Catholic identity. The Pope has the final say on doctrine. He decides what is officially taught and believed within the Church. He also appoints bishops and cardinals across the world, which allows him to shape the Church's direction on a global scale. No other Catholic figure has comparable decision-making power. Beyond religion, the Pope is also a head of state. He leads Vatican City, an independent country with its own government and international relations. This gives him influence that extends beyond faith into global politics. In practice, this means decisions made in Rome affect Catholic communities everywhere. From doctrine to discipline, there is no higher internal appeal above the Pope. Imam. Islam works in the opposite way. There is no single person at the top. Leadership in Islam is spread across communities, scholars, and local institutions. Imams are often mistaken for the equivalent of the Pope. They are not. An imam usually leads prayers in a mosque and gives guidance to a local community. His influence depends on knowledge and trust, not on a global hierarchy. One imam has no authority over another. Religious authority in Islam comes mainly from scholars who study the Quran and Islamic law. Their opinions matter only if people accept them. Different schools of thought coexist, sometimes agreeing, sometimes openly disagreeing. Because there is no central command, Islam looks different from country to country. Beliefs stay shared, but leadership does not. The chief rabbi. In Judaism, leadership comes from centuries of legal tradition. Influence is earned through interpretation of the law. At the top of that system stands the chief rabbi, a figure whose influence comes from legal expertise. The chief rabbi does not rule Judaism worldwide. His authority is usually national and depends on recognition by the community. What gives him weight is his role as a legal reference. He interprets Jewish law, known as halakha, and his opinions shape how religious rules are applied in daily life. Jewish leadership works through courts, rulings, and precedent. Disagreements are normal and expected. A chief rabbi cannot force obedience in the way a pope can. His influence exists because people trust his judgment, not because of a strict hierarchy. Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama stands out because his influence is personal before it is institutional. He is not chosen through elections or imposed by a central authority. His position comes from a long tradition that identifies him as the reincarnation of a previous spiritual teacher. That belief is what gives continuity to his role. For many people, the Dalai Lama represents Buddhism as a whole. In reality, his authority is tied mainly to Tibetan Buddhism. He does not control doctrine across all Buddhist traditions, and he cannot issue rules that every Buddhist must follow. His influence works through example, teaching, and public presence. The Dalai Lama spends much of his time explaining Buddhist ideas in simple terms. He focuses on ethics, compassion, and mental discipline rather than rituals or commands. This makes him highly visible outside religious circles, especially in the modern world. Guru. Hinduism does not revolve around a single leader or institution. It works through personal bonds. A guru is a teacher who guides students over time, usually through close contact and daily practice. Authority here grows slowly and stays tied to individual experience. People follow a guru by choice. There is no formal appointment and no shared chain of command. Some gurus teach a small group in one place. Others gain followers far beyond their region. Their influence expands only if their teaching resonates. Hindu traditions are highly varied, and each guru usually focuses on one path. Some emphasize devotion, others reflection or discipline. A guru can be deeply important to followers while remaining unknown elsewhere. Influence never extends automatically. This makes Hindu leadership scattered and flexible. Guru Granth Sahib. Sikhism takes a path that feels unusual compared to most religions. Leadership does not rest in a living person. The highest authority is a book. The Guru Granth Sahib is treated as the eternal guru and occupies the central place in Sikh religious life. This text contains hymns and teachings written by Sikh gurus and other spiritual figures. During ceremonies, it is placed on a raised platform, treated with respect, and consulted for guidance. No human leader can override it. Because authority comes from scripture, no priest or teacher stands above others. Granthis, who read and care for the text, do not command followers. Their role is practical, not hierarchical. Decisions are measured against the teachings of the Guru Granth Sahib. Universal House of Justice. The Baha'i faith approaches leadership through administration. Its highest authority is a governing council called the Universal House of Justice. This body is elected, not inherited, and its role is to guide the global community in practical and spiritual matters. The members of this council are chosen every 5 years by representatives from Baha'i communities around the world. They are not clergy and they do not claim personal spiritual authority. Their legitimacy comes from the process itself and from collective responsibility. The Universal House of Justice makes decisions on issues that are not explicitly covered in Baha'i scripture. These decisions aim to keep unity across cultures while allowing local communities to function effectively. Its focus stays on organization, coordination, and long-term direction. This model creates a form of leadership that feels modern and structured. Authority is centralized, yet impersonal. The governing body. Jehovah's Witnesses are led through a tightly controlled organizational core. Direction comes from a small group known as the governing body. This group operates from headquarters and defines doctrine, practice, and acceptable behavior for members worldwide. The governing body is not elected by followers and does not function as a symbolic authority. Its role is operational. It produces official interpretations of scripture, approves publications, and sets rules that local congregations are expected to follow without modification. Local elders manage congregations, but their authority is limited. They apply instructions rather than create them. Major decisions, changes in teaching, and disciplinary standards all originate from the top and flow downward through the organization. The President of the Church. In Mormonism, leadership is built around a single living figure. The President of the Church is seen as God's chosen prophet on earth. His role is active, visible, and central to how the religion functions day to day. The President leads the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints alongside 2 counselors, but his voice carries the final weight. He directs doctrine, approves changes, and guides the institution as a whole. When he speaks officially, members treat his words as direct guidance from God. This leadership model keeps the church highly organized. Decisions are consistent across countries, congregations, and cultures. Members look upward for direction rather than debating beliefs locally. Unity comes from alignment with the top. Scientology. Scientology is shaped by corporate-style leadership rather than religious tradition. At the top stands David Miscavige, who controls the organization's direction, messaging, and internal discipline. His position is not symbolic, it is managerial and continuous. Miscavige oversees all major branches of the Church of Scientology. He approves doctrine, enforces rules, and determines how teachings are presented to members and the public. Decisions move downward through a rigid chain, leaving little room for local variation. There is no formal process for choosing or replacing the leader. Authority remains concentrated in one office and one person. Members encounter leadership mainly through official materials, recordings, and internal directives rather than personal interaction. Across religions, leadership takes very different forms. Some systems rely on a single figure, others spread authority across law, texts, institutions, or communities. Understanding who leads is often the fastest way to understand how a religion actually works. If you want more clear, fast explanations like this, subscribe to the channel. And if there is a religion or topic you want broken down next, leave it in the comments.